AIT Alumni.
Okay.
She's looking at it from Facebook, so I can ask her to see. Okay. Purna, are you seeing it in Facebook? No, you're not in Facebook, right? Let me
No,
ask
I'm
you.
not on Facebook, but on the Zoom chat, it came, meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Yeah, I can see it on the upper right corner, live on Facebook. So it should be good now.
Okay, let me see where I cannot see it.
Upper right corner, upper left corner, there is a red band saying live on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, I see that.
Right.
Okay, but I have a second screen. I'm looking for that. Sorry.
Can anybody on Facebook confirm that it is live on Facebook?
Let me see. I can.
Mohit, can you hear us? If you are, if
Yes,
you can hear us,
I can hear you, but I don't see it is connecting to the online system in the Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
So just maybe
showing that it's live. So you cannot see.
The screen shows it's live.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I got it.
You can see it, but I cannot see it.
Mohit, can you see it?
Yeah, in the Facebook, I can see the.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, screen showing the slide, correct?
Okay, great.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Why I cannot see it? I was looking for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mohit, Mohit and Mohit, especially if there's any problem on the Facebook, just communicate directly with Sharif, okay?
Sure, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Sharif, at this time, mute everyone else except me, if you can. We'll go ahead and kick this off.
Okay, what time is it? I think that you probably need to, there's a lot of people are.
So we have 29 participants in Zoom.
Yep.
Okay, and many more in Facebook.
Okay, so I have muted all.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Greetings. Hope you and your loved ones are doing well. On behalf of AITAA USA chapter, let me welcome our attendees from the United States and around the world to this chapter's inaugural technical webinar. In today's event, our distinguished alumni, Dr. Sahadat Hossain, will speak on minimizing climate change and boosting circular economy through sustainable waste management post-COVID-19. My name is Susil Acharya. I'm an Associate Provost for Research, Global Initiatives and Development at Robert Morris University, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. I'm also a Professor of Software Engineering. I will be your moderator for today's program. Prior to starting this exciting event, let me lay out a few ground rules and provide some suggestions. This event is being held in Zoom and being simultaneously broadcast through Facebook Live. This event will be recorded. For those joining us in Zoom, if you do not wish to be recorded, you may turn off your video at this time, or you may leave the session. The recording will be shared with the larger global community interested in sustainable waste management. Attendees in Zoom will be muted throughout the event. For any reason, if you are unmuted, kindly mute yourself. This will enable us to hear the speaker clearly. For best viewing option, please set your Zoom screen to speaker view. If for any reason you are not able to hear us, please leave and rejoin. If internet speed affects your viewing, please join us in audio mode only. Our program today will begin with an introduction of our speaker. Welcome from Dr. Sarif Uddin, President of AITAA USA chapter. We will then have Dr. Hossain's presentation for 30 minutes, followed by 25 minutes of question and answers. All questions should be submitted via the chat box or Facebook Live comments sections. Please formulate and craft your questions clearly. I will read out selected questions from the Zoom chat box and Facebook comment sections relevant to the topic being discussed. As this is an hour-long event, all questions may not get answered. Our speaker, Dr. Hossain, has promised that all relevant remaining questions will be answered and will be provided as a recording in Facebook. So let's begin. Dr. Sahadat Hossain is a professor of civil engineering at the University of Texas at Arlington. He completed his BS in civil engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, India in 1994. His Master's of Engineering in Geotechnical Engineering from the Asian Institute of Technology in 1997, and his PhD from North Carolina State University at Raleigh, North Carolina, USA in 2002. Dr. Hossain has more than 20 years of professional and research experience in sustainable waste management, landfill gas to energy, and landfill mining. In addition to his academic responsibilities, Dr. Hossain has provided waste management support here in the USA and has worked in Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, and Ethiopia. Dr. Hossain is also the founding director of the Organized Research Center of Excellence, Solid Waste Institute for Sustainability since 2015. His research focuses on innovative solutions for sustainable waste management. Currently, Dr. Hossain is extensively working on reusing recycling materials for other engineering applications as part of his commitment towards circular economy. He's also working on plastic road, that is reusing recycled plastics for asphalt pavement roads. Dr. Hossain is no stranger to presentation and news outlets. In addition to numerous presentations in professional venues here in the US and worldwide, he has been interviewed by NPR, ABC, CBS, Fox News, and has presented on the topic, Garbage, Asset or Liability, as a TED Talk speaker in April 2016. So with this, let me request Dr. Sarif Uddin, AITAA, USA President, to provide his welcome remarks.
Welcome everyone to Asian Institute of Technology, Alumni Association, USA Chapter, technical webinar. This is our first webinar, and we are very excited to have this the opening webinar tonight. So when we discussed and the purpose of the webinar, that basically that we have two purposes. One thing that we like to, number one, that we like to provide a platform for our alumni that who has been excelled in their profession, so that they can present their research, innovation, and their work to the alumni around the world and also the AIT friends. And then the second thought behind the webinar is that also to create a stronger network between the AIT and rest of the alumni world, because which is kind of the important to that reduce the communication gap and also the share the ideas. I think that we are looking for that this kind of webinar that would help actually that especially in the Europe, in the Asian countries, and we like to help the part of the world. So as it is a first webinar, please provide your feedback that how we can do better, because that's kind of important we are looking for. And also that if you are interested of any topic or any subject that you'd like to hear from us, because we have the 750 alumni in US, and everyone is kind of the expert in their profession. So you can, if you have any feedback, please provide us. I would like to thank you, Dr. Sahadat Hossain, to volunteer as a first speaker. The Dr. Sushil Acharya to moderate this event. This is the weekend, and they're volunteering their time. So I'm very much thankful, and also my thanks goes to all our the alumni members who provided the feedback, because we have been working to make it a successful event last few weeks. So thanks to everyone, and also thanks for your participation. I think that will make a great event today, and then we are looking for the future, and I welcome you to the future events as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Udin. Dr. Hossain, you have 25 minutes. The floor is yours. Please take it away. Dr. Sharif, if you can.
Okay, I am unmuted. Okay, thank you very much, Susil and Sharif. It was a very nice introduction. And without wasting much time, I want to get directly into the topic. And the reason, I like to talk about it, since March, we are in a completely different situation. We are facing a situation that we never thought of we are going to have. So there are a lot of changes in our lifestyle. With that, my expertise is waste management. So anytime there is a life event and serious event, I think in terms of waste management, what is going to happen and how it's going to affect our life during that period. So if we look at this during COVID, and lockdown since April 2020, during lockdown, everything was shut down. Now services were divided into two groups: one, essential service, another one, non-essential service. Essential service continued their work, and waste management was considered one of the essential service. Now, if you look at these medical professionals, they were doing a fantastic job. They were helping the community, helping the people with COVID. At the same time, we should not forget the service provided by the waste management professional. Even during COVID, when everybody was afraid to go out to do their work, these people were working. And the photo in the middle that you are seeing here, this is outside my neighborhood. And it was a rainy day. These guys were working and collecting the trash. What are they doing? They're helping people from getting sick. Now in COVID, my topic is in waste management. How the waste generation has it changed? If you look at everything during the COVID, waste generated from hospital. If you look at the waste professionals, nurses, doctors, everybody is wearing some kind of plastic and hand gloves, mask. Anything that comes out of the medical facility or healthcare facility by CDC and World Health Organization, they are considered medical waste. Only in Wuhan, 240 ton of solid waste, was generated during, in China, in 240 ton a day, when it was, the peak of COVID. And they needed one medical waste treatment facility plus 46 mobile units to handle this waste. If we go to the outside medical facility or resident and outside healthcare facility, general public were wearing masks and gloves, which was not common before, but it became common during the COVID time. And there are some patients who are getting treated at home. They are not going to the hospital, they are staying home. All those related waste was not considered hazardous waste, and they are considered municipal solid waste based on CDC and WHO requirement. Now, during COVID, most of the people are staying home, and even kids, they are staying home. The people who were not cooking before, they were cooking at home, and they are generating more residential waste. Even, if some of you may recognize her, this is Bollywood actress Deepika Padukone. They usually don't cook at home. They're always busy. Either they're eating outside or going somewhere else. Even they were eating. So what happened, the side effect? Residential waste increased by 40%. What happened to the commercial waste? They went down by 20 to 30% because there not many or commercial activities were going on. With all this, one thing that became very common and very serious issue, that plastic waste was surging all over the place. If you look at all these three photos, the people, whatever they're wearing is plastic. Mask is plastic, hand gloves, plastic. This is a medical professional going door to door for COVID testing in Punjab, India. This is a grocery store in New York. Before COVID, they were trying to ban the one-time use plastic bags, but when COVID started, the plastic company took it, made it, get rid of all the banning. Why? They were saying, COVID virus can stay in the plastic up to 42 to 72 hours. What did that means? You cannot use a reusable bag. So all those bans were gone. What's the side effect? That was in April. If you look at now, in October, this is the news came out just a few days ago in Reuters, that plastic pandemic, COVID-19 trashed the recycling dream. Why? Look at this. Since 1950, 6.3 billion tons of plastic were generated. Only 99% were recycled. 91% plastic were never recycled. Cost of recycling now became more, recycling probably more expensive than the virgin recycled material, virgin plastic material. Why? Because of the COVID, most people are not driving as much as before. They are working from home and not going out of the home. So the price of oil went down. If the price of oil went down, there's the raw material for producing plastic. Cost of producing plastic became very less. So recycling the material doesn't make sense anymore, and it's not cost effective. Total production of mask only in China expected to be more than 1 billion in 2020. Now, we have to use the plastic. We have to use the mask because we have to safeguard. We cannot say, plastic, we are increasing plastic so that we should not use this. No, we have to save ourselves. But we have to be careful. What is happening? Look at this mask. The first photo on the top you're seeing here, this is in a tree in Europe. This is on a drainage system in New York. Anytime there was a, free from lockdown, people end up going to the beach. What happened? The beach was trashed with masks. And these masks are made out of plastic. So the point with this, if the mask and gloves are flying around, this puts our health worker in danger. Now remember, even before COVID, plastic waste was clogging the drain and causing this kind of flooding. This is a photo from Dhaka city a few years ago. It was a rainy season, the city got completely flooded. Is it the flood water? No. Drainage system were completely clogged with the plastic. This is before COVID. Add the additional plastic from the COVID. You can see the consequences if we don't manage it right. Look at this. When we have all this waste flying around, while our waste workers are working on them, we need to make sure they are protected. If you look at this, OSHA, World Health Organization, Solid Waste Association of North America, Texas Council of Environmental Quality, everybody said the minimum requirement, you should have gloves or mask. These are the waste workers in developing countries. This is a photo from India. This is a photo from India. This is a photo from Latin America. None of them have gloves or mask. Now, when you look at this report, and the lady, she said, we tried to ask for the mask from our company, but they are not providing anything to us. Issues in developing countries. What happened in the developed world? Both the workers in England and Portugal, they are all protected. They have the mask, they have the gloves. Before, with COVID, we know the plastic waste is increasing. Even before COVID, global waste generation was in alarming rate. Why? Urbanization. Economic wealth is increasing. Standard of living is increasing. Consumption is increasing. As a solid waste professional, what I'm thinking, waste generation is increasing. Is it really the picture? If you look at this, 2018 World Bank, report, low-income country, waste generation by 2030, it will be almost double. By 2050, it will be tripled. Lower to middle income country, it's going to be doubled. Upper and high income, they're not going to increase that much. If the generation is increasing, what is the problem here? In the low-income countries, especially South Asia, sub-Saharan countries, the collection rate is very, very low. So you're generating more, collecting less. Rest of the waste sitting on the street or clogging the drainage system. So this is creating serious, environmental pollution and public health issues. What's the way waste has been managed? If you look at the waste management hierarchy, source reduction, recycling, energy recovery, and disposal is the last option is the disposal. If you look at the practice globally, 70% of them are landfill or open dumped. 11% waste to energy, 19% recycled. Why? Now, dump site and landfill, this is a serious problem. It's the last choice, but people are using it as the first choice. Can we have the landfill anymore? Look at the urbanization. Dubai in 1990 and 2013. Kuala Lumpur in 1990 and 2014. Shanghai in 2019 and look at this. Seoul in 1960 and 2011. What is the meaning? All this 1990, if you could put a landfill in Dubai, that place, it was okay. They have a lot of land. You cannot even afford to think of putting a landfill here now because there is not enough land. Another problem with landfill, there is a term called NIMBY, not in my backyard. You can put a landfill, but not in my backyard, somewhere else. You can go and put it in somewhere else. Your people are okay. This is a riot in Naples, Italy. Why? The city official are trying to, one of the landfill waste management system was closed. They're trying to open a new one. The new neighborhood, they said, you cannot put a landfill or waste management system in our neighborhood. They had riot. Lebanon, the waste management facility was full. Before opening a new landfill, government say, okay, shut down the existing landfill. What happened? There was a serious crisis and they were burning trash everywhere else. Now, we know there is a problem with landfilling. So what is the choice? Waste to energy is one of the very good choice. Why? Because waste to energy facility require very small space. Only issue, we need to make sure that the waste to energy facility works. If the system is not working, even though it helps us, it is not going to work. Okay. So let's go to the waste to energy facility. Can we make the waste to energy facility work? If you look at this, if we look at waste composition, low-income countries, you have high organic content and high moisture content. In the high-income countries or developed countries, you have high plastic content and paper content. They are high calorific value. So if your trash is organic content is 60 to 70% is very wet. If it is wet, most likely you cannot generate any waste out of it. Now, I'll show you a small video to have a sense how it works. If you have the dry paper, you can burn it easily. Now put the same paper in the water, make it wet, bring it out, try to burn it, you cannot burn it. What's the meaning? The meaning is, if you go back to the previous slide, here, low-income countries' moisture content is so high, their waste is like the paper got wet in the glass, water bottle glass. And high-income countries, the paper is like dry paper. So when someone talks about, generating energy out of that wet paper, it doesn't work. Another issue is the calorific value. We need to have high calorific value. Look at the calorific value is in terms of BTU per kg. In USA, it's 13,000, almost 14,000. European countries, 9,000. Look at India and Bangladesh, 3,000 and less than 1,000. Okay. I just published a recent article in Bangladesh newspaper, Bangladesh Observer, that does waste to energy system works. I just tried to lay out what are the technology it can be applicable in developing countries. Now, technically, weight and low calorific, it takes out the waste to energy technology. But there is another concern, public health. Delhi has a waste to energy in Okla power plant. And based on one of the cardiologist report, they had a lot more asthma patient came to the emergency since the Okla power plant, waste to energy plant was there. It has a very serious consequences. This is before COVID. Let's check the issue during COVID. We know globally the COVID started. I don't want to make a political statement. It started in Wuhan. Who is the generator? I don't want to talk about it. Waste to energy or incineration, They have dioxin and furan emitted by the incinerator. They are also a major source of particulate material 2.5. This particulate material can go up, decrease lungs function, irregular heartbeat, and heart attack. All these are the pre-existing condition, the patient who gets seriously affected by COVID. How many people in China, how many people died? Most of the people died in Wuhan. Let's look at the background. Wuhan had 5 major waste to energy plants, and they had a lot of complaints from the people. But government or the authority never shut them down. What is the issues? They were very close to the hospitals or the residential areas. One case, they were only 100 feet away. They were, inhaling a lot of this PM 2.5, and they were already sick before the COVID was coming. What is the side effect? A lot of people died. Is it only Wuhan? Look at this. This is a research study in Harvard, T.S. Chan School of Public Health. According to their research, if you have 1 microgram more PM 2.5, the increase in the air, chances of death or death rate increase in that community by 15%. Only 1 microgram. COVID incinerator causes to increase PM by a lot more than 1 microgram. Now, look at USA. That was Wuhan, right? Look at USA. The left figure, all these green dots you are seeing, this is the waste to energy plant in America. In New York and New Jersey area. Look at these 2 dots. Michigan, one of the major one is Detroit. Look at these 2 dots here. 2 major waste to energy plant or incineration plant in California. Look at the COVID death. This is directly overlap the presence of waste to energy plant and people dying from COVID. This is not only in Wuhan. Now, in the COVID waste to energy plant, people around the waste to energy plant, whoever is living, they're Black or Latino because they are poor. And around their house, rental and others are cheap. But in Michigan, Detroit, the air quality violation was more than 750 times in 5 years. Did they shut down the plant? No. What happened in Detroit? Most of the people who died in Detroit in all the places are Black and Latino. Look at this. In New York, non-hospitalized, fatal, and people died, Black and Latin American. If you look at these 2%, Black and Latino population died 66% of the death in New York, California, and Michigan accounted for Black and Hispanic. And if you go more detail, you will find most of those people are living next to the incinerator. So waste to energy plant incinerator, is it working? Yes, in USA, they can produce the energy. In developing countries, they cannot even produce energy enough. Now, is it only US and China? Look at another country, Italy. Italy has 66% of their waste to energy plant in northern Italy. And if you look at the number of cases and death, is proportional to the number of waste to energy plant there. This is very interesting. And this is unbelievable. Why? Many of these waste to energy or incineration plant in Italy are there for 30 years. And they had the worst air quality record. Do they have other reason to have the air pollution? Yes, but this also added to their existing pressure. Now, in developing countries, waste characteristics are, it can have there is no energy, but it can have disastrous public health consequences. Why? The regulations are loosely enforced. Developed country, you can get energy, but still you are not out of the public health concern. So if landfill is the problem, waste to energy is the problem. So how can we deal with the waste problem? This is what we are proposing or what we are implementing in Texas and some of the African countries is sustainable resource management system. In the past, we have open dumps of landfill. People are moving towards sanitary landfill, which is a better system, but still every 30 years you close the landfill and find a new place. With our proposal, you are not going to open a new place. You need to have one waste to energy on for a resource management facility, and you can operate there for 25 to 30 years. From 25 to 30 years to up to 200 years, if you can manage it right. What is the system we're talking about? in the sustainable system, we saw that in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, collection is a major problem. We need to increase the waste collection. There is no alternate to that. Once we have this, we should go to a facility which is called Sustainable Resource Management Facility. We should have a processing plant. We should separate the recyclables and organics. And these organics we can use for composting. We can also use for AD, or some of them at the end, if we don't have anything, we can send it to the biocell or perpetual landfill. Or if the technology is appropriate, we can also use waste to energy. How does it work? You collect everything. If you can sort, remember, this is only one of the model. We have few other model based on the collection condition. If you collect mixed waste, you bring it to the material recovery facility, separate them, organic goes to another one side, recycling comes to another side. Whatever you can make out of product, if anything left over, goes to this final destination. Come here for organic, use for composting. If composting after that left over, go for AD. If anything left over, only then it goes to the temporary disposal or biocell or waste to energy, whatever is appropriate. So this is what we are talking about. Sustainable resource management facility. Your truck is entering in a facility. We don't have to say we want to do recycling, we want to do waste to energy, we want to do biogas. We'll design the facility in a way that we can incorporate everything. We bring it here, sort the material, recycling material goes here, we make product out of it. If there is a organic material, we put it in the composting facility. Some of them goes to the aerobic digester, and we'll have the biogas to energy facility. Anything left over, then it only goes to biocell or waste to energy, whatever is applicable given the waste characteristics. So in our system, waste is going from left side and output is usable recycled commodities, biogas to energy, waste to energy, or compost. Now, biocell, when you're talking about perpetual landfill or biocell, how does it work? We make it work in a way that each cell, if it is 20 years lifetime, each cell will be used for 5 years. Then one is full. When you come to the cell number 4, it will be completely filled. When you are filling cell number 4, we'll start digging out cell number 1. Whatever went in there, either they became compost, anything left over, we dig it out and reuse. And we keep using the landfill space or perpetual landfill space or biocell space again and again. We are not only recycling the material, we are recycling the space itself. So if we go back to the previous system, this biocell or perpetual landfill, we do not need any more new landfill. Landfill, the main issue was space. We can easily address the issue of space using this idea. Now, when you go to the resource management facility, we are talking about material recovery facility. Material recovery facility can be clean if the materials are sorted household level, or dirty when you are sorting everything from one place. Now, one issue is if you recycle, what do you do? If you recycle the material or plastic bottle, and if you cannot find a use for them, then there is no use of recycling. Okay. In Texas, what we are doing, we are using this plastic bottle and making a plastic pin. And we are using for civil engineering infrastructure project. What we are doing, we are fixing the highway slope. Now remember, plastic goes to the landfill, they occupy more space in the landfill and they stay there forever. You bring and that's the problem because they are non-degradable. If you use a civil engineering material which is non-degradable, there's a perfect solution because you want to use a material which doesn't degrade due to the environmental condition. This is one of the news of these plastic uses. I want to show the video.
Texas has more bridges than any other state, 52,000 to be exact, but the money to maintain them, it's pretty hard to come by. But a UT Arlington researcher believes he has found a cheap and effective way to help all of this. It all comes down to this, a recyclable soda bottle. Channel 8's Jason Wheeler explains.
Drivers speeding down this stretch of 287 near Midlothian are probably blissfully unaware that the edge of the pavement is badly cracked and that the highway hillside is slipping away, except in spots where the slope is being buttressed by garbage.
And when the slope is trying to slide, the pin is holding them.
UT Arlington civil engineering researcher Dr. Sahadat Hossain explains that hundreds of 10-foot rods made from recycled plastic have been jammed into the ground here to stop a problem called slope failure.
It's almost everywhere in Texas.
The solution originated elsewhere, but Dr. Hossain and his team at UTA redesigned how the pins are deployed, making them effective even in the notoriously shifting soils of Texas.
It's perfectly working.
Here's how they know it's working. They treated part of this hillside by putting those rods in the ground, but part of it they left alone. On the part that was treated, you can see that on either side of the original crack in the ground, my feet are almost level. But if we walk down to the portion where they didn't put the rods into the ground, you can see that there's a significant difference. My feet far from level now as the hillside is actually peeling away.
The State Transportation Department recently awarded Dr. Hossain a $1 million grant to replicate the idea in trouble spots along highways 183 and 360.
So you could be a busy guy.
I want to be.
From there, the program could go statewide, says Dr. Hossain.
Well, Texas has.
Okay, so, this is one of the applications.
Dr. Hossain,
yes.
You have 5 minutes left, okay?
Oh, I have more than enough. Thank you. Okay, so the point is, we can talk about recycling. We can talk about material reutilization. But if we cannot find the application, there is no point of recycling. So this is one of the applications. And since we started using that company, their business increased significantly because now based on our design and analysis, 10 other states in USA right now implementing this as we speak. So it's not only in Texas, it's everywhere. Now we are also talking to implement this in Malaysia. We are talking to implement this in Ethiopia, and I'm talking with few other countries because plastic is everywhere and everybody thinks this is a problem. But we can convert this problem into a solution. We don't want to send them to landfill. The moment you send them to landfill, it's a wasted resource. Okay. So now another issue is if plastic is everywhere, plastic bag is everywhere, is there any way we can redesign the plastic? We can come up with biodegradable plastic. One such product in Bangladesh, there is a company, a startup company, they are working on it, Sonali Bioplastic. I am involved with this company. I know about this company and they're doing a fantastic job. What is their idea? They're using jute, the fiber from jute and some other plants and using renewable material to produce this plastic. What's the benefit? Look at this photo here. This is the plastic, this biodegrading and this biodegrading is completely going away. So you're using natural resources and it's completely biodegradable. If we cannot get rid of one-time use plastic bag, if we really become used to it, I don't want you to use it. I don't want anybody to use plastic bottle or plastic bag. But if we really cannot get out of it, why don't we use bioplastic? And this is one of the company, their product and their material, then ideology. I 100% believe in their product and it has tremendous potential. Okay, so either we reuse the plastic or we come up with new product that will be biodegradable. Now, I have another article that just came out yesterday. I wrote on this, roadmap for sustainable waste management. If someone wants to find, they can go and read the article. Now, remember, before COVID, we have one type of life, but life after COVID, look at this. Since COVID started, what we are doing? Washing our hand again and again. That was not our norm before. Can we go back to this kind of situation again? That's not a possibility. Can we have a situation that we are washing our hand, going out and walking through this trash? No matter how many times you're washing your hand is going to be dirty. We cannot have uncollected garbage on the street. We have to manage and find a sustainable solution for waste. What we are targeting here, we are targeting basically, we go from linear economy. People are talking about recycling economy. No, I don't want to go to recycling economy. I want to go to circular economy. How? Reuse everything that comes out of it. And with the sustainable resource management facility, it's one stop. And once you build, that's a factory. Once you start it, it goes and you can keep using the same space 100 years. Now, if someone say, for waste management, I need a landfill and I need to keep here every 30 years, I have to keep looking for a new one. You don't now. You have a solution and it's been implemented now. It's not that it's in the theory level. Okay. Thank you very much. I think I finished it ahead of my time. Thank you, Susil. Now, if you guys are not ready, I have
You are
another.
muted.
I'm sorry. I'm muted. I'm back again. I'm thinking, okay, so again, thank you, Dr. Hossain. We now open the floor for question and answer. Please use Zoom chat box or Facebook Live comment sections to submit your well thought of question. We do have a question here, and it is from Purna Rao. The question reads, how do we balance between the increased use of plastics and thus more plastic waste versus public health protection in light of current COVID-19 times? Dr. Hossain.
Thank you very much. This is a wonderful question. You know, plastic waste is becoming so much headache. At the same time, if you are in a COVID era, if you are looking at healthcare professional, anybody, plastic use, there is absolutely no way we can control the plastic use, right? Now, if something is increasing, we need to manage it right? Now, look at this. If you consider all this as a medical waste, it goes to the medical waste facility and they usually incinerate them. And handling the medical waste is a lot more expensive than the regular waste, right? Now, remember, all these medical waste facilities, you know, the idea is why we are considering the medical waste? Because COVID virus can stay on their surface for 72 hours. Very good. Why don't we take them and keep in a place for 72 hours? And then treat them as a solid waste, municipal solid waste. So the treatment cost immediately goes down significantly. Number one. Number two, we need to come up with ways to recycle them. If we are not recycling them and this plastic is increasing significantly, there is absolutely no way you can handle it. And one of the major issue right now, cities have their recycling budget and medical waste budget is at relatively always higher than the municipal solid waste budget. So they're having tough time to, you know, handle this increased recyclable material waste. What they're doing, they're not even, some cities, I don't want to throw the name out here, some cities, closing their recycling program and sending everything to the landfill. Is it happening in developing countries? Yes. Is it happening in developed countries like USA? Answer is yes.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Akhtar Uzzaman Hassan. His question reads, can we use recycling for land reclamation? So reclaim the land.
Reclaim the land, okay. Can you use which one, which waste?
Basically, let me go back again. Okay.
Can you ask me the question again, please?
Yes, sure, please. The question is very simple. Use waste, just waste for land reclaiming.
Good. This is a fantastic question. You know, a few years ago when I went to Bangladesh, my sister told me she is buying a land and it's relatively cheaper. I said, where? She said, it's next to a landfill, but you know, they're filling the land with trash. I said, then why you're buying it? She said, because it's cheap. Point is, if you are putting fresh garbage to fill up the land reclamation or any place, the first thing you should not do, you should never buy that land. Number one, you're putting a lot of organic and decomposable, slowly and fast decomposable material there. Maybe by the time they fill the land, it will be completely full. You put a building on top of it, what is going to happen? With time, they are going to degrade. If they degrade, your building is going to sink. There is not one, there is more than 100 case study I can present to you where they build something on top of the landfill without taking care of the foundation. There is tremendous building failure and people died. Number one, it can decompose. Number two, meaning they are decomposing, that means they are producing gas. What kind of gas? Methane and carbon dioxide. If methane gas are trapped underneath your building and they come out, any of the kids get in contact or even the adult get in contact with a methane more than 10% concentration level, it will not take them more than 5 seconds for them to die on the spot. There are many examples like this. So if someone wants to buy a land which is filled with fresh, remember, I'm saying fresh garbage, you should not even think about buying it. Now, I also showed something else here. If you have a biocell, you're putting the trash there. After 20 years, you are mining or digging out the material. This is completely decomposed. If you cannot reuse, but this material, if you use for landfilling or soil reclamation, you are absolutely okay because this material became inert. So now we are using the same waste for landfilling, but not the fresh, completely decomposed one. And we are creating a source for that.
Okay, thank you. We have another very interesting question from Muhammad Zakir Hussain. So the question reads, since developing countries have started more waste and majority of them are wet, what would be the specific suggestions for them?
Excellent question. The first suggestion for them, I am so frustrated. This Bangladesh government right now, Dhaka city, north and south, north is in Narayanganj, the city where I am from originally in Bangladesh. They are going for waste to energy plant in Narayanganj. If you look at the waste characteristics there, they are completely wet. They have more than 60% organic waste. So this waste is completely wet. And they are promising they're going to produce energy out of it. I just showed the video here. If you try to burn the dry paper, you can create energy out of it. If you put the same paper in the water and try to burn it, you take it out, it's wet. You can burn it. What? First, you have to use the energy to make them dry. So the energy you use to dry them, then you use the second source of energy to burn them, your net energy is going to be negative, number one. Number two, in Delhi, Bangladesh should take the study, case study from Delhi. They have increased asthma patient in that nearby that facility according to the cardiologist. This is not a political group. This is not an environmental group. This is the actual doctor giving the report that since they built the Okla power plant, many people are getting affected by asthma. Why? Here, PM 2.5, lungs function gets affected. So now in Delhi, they could not control the air quality because, the system is there that you have to use the air quality or control. But are they implementing it? No. System is there in USA also. In Detroit, air quality violation was 750 times in 5 years. If country like USA is unable to control the air quality, can we really expect our politicians or our people in our vaccine center to control this? So what should they do? They should, without any question, go for sustainable resource management facility. If a city, let me give you an example, and I have put it after the slide. I thought someone will ask the question and someone did. Look at this. Kumilla is a city that's generating only 100 tons of waste every day. And they're thinking about waste to energy. Environmentally bad, you're not going to get any energy. You're going to spend a lot of government money without any result. Look at this. If you have 100 ton or 40 ton, 100 ton, if you bring it here, around 10% is recyclable. 10 ton comes to the recycling. For example, if you put two composting facility, 20 ton, that's another 40 ton. If you put two AD, 15 or 20 ton, that's around 80 ton. 80 plus 10, 90 ton. Out of 100 ton, 90 ton you can divert from the landfill. Only 10 ton goes to the landfill or biocell. That means if they're telling you that you need 200 acres of land, you can bring it down to 30 acres, 40 acres of land. If we divert this facility, can we do it? Without any question. Is it possible? Many countries are doing it. So for a country where there is more organic waste, we have a better opportunity to make good use of it. I hope this answers it's a long answer, but I hope it addresses many other questions that's coming.
No, thank you, Dr. Hossain. This is very thought-provoking. I have another question from Dave Shrestha. The question reads, did you see any leaking of chemicals into the ground from those plastic posts as they degrade? What kind of quality control measures do you need?
Thank you very much, Dev, that you asked the question. I wish somebody asked the question. Okay, this is a plastic bottle, and this pin I'm talking about, they are 4" by 4" by 10 feet long. Okay, we did the test before putting them on the ground. We put them in the water, we put them in the soluble material, and we take them for few years. Nothing is leaking out of it. This material is solid. This material, nothing is leaking out of it. Even if you put in contact with the acid, there will be some degradation, but nothing is leaking out of it. We tested the water, we tested in the lab, we tested in the field. Nothing is leaking. So do we have to worry about long-term environmental effect of this? Absolutely not. Because remember, the reason we are trying to avoid putting them in the landfill because they don't degrade. Exact same reason, which is bad in landfill, excellent for civil engineering or any engineering solution, because they don't degrade. Did we study the environmental effect? Yes, it has absolutely no leaking and no environmental pollution.
Okay, thank you. I do have a question of my own. In 2017, the United States unilaterally pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Okay, so my question to you is that no one predicted something like a pandemic of this magnitude. And as your slides and your presentations have shown, we are generating more waste than we thought we would have. So is it necessary for the United States to join back into this agreement? Would it be helpful? Or would your recycling, which you call circular recycling, may give us a thought that maybe there's no need?
Okay. This is both technical and political question. So I will look at the technical side first, then maybe shed a little bit light on political side. 2018, China, all the recycling product that we're making, the China was the powerhouse or Mecca for recycling. Everybody recycling, send it to the China. From USA, from Europe, from Africa, from Bangladesh, India, every plastic was going to China. 2018, China banned the plastic import. They said, we're not going to take your plastic anymore. Let me take it back. They didn't say we are banning it. They changed the regulation. The contamination level of the recycling product that they were taking was up to 20%. Now they changed the contamination level to 0.5%. To give you an example, if you have a box, that recycling box that we put outside our house every day, if it is everything recycled material, clean recycled material, but if you throw a banana peel into that recycling pile, that contamination is more than 0.5%. That means they made the requirement so stringent that nobody can meet the requirement. The recycling product in China was $11 billion industry for USA. With that gone, and with USA pulling out from all the environmental coalition, it is creating a havoc for America. Not only America, for Europe also. Now, America has a lot of plastic that recyclable. Do we have any local use? No, because nobody ever thought of local use. Everybody is ready, send it to China. Now, China market is gone. They don't have a local market, and government is not helping. Politics is hindering the process. How do we solve it? One, they need to create local market immediately, and they need to subsidize local business. There comes the opportunity for local entrepreneurs. If someone wants to make business, now these recycling materials are free. If you go to a recycling company, if they cannot send it to China, they have to store it. If they cannot store it, they have to send it back to the landfill again. And if they send it back to the landfill, they have to pay tipping fee. So they're in trouble. Lot of cities, many cities are closing their recycling product, selling everything to landfill. There is a cyclic effect. Your landfill is getting filled quickly. You have no recycled material. Recycle market is crashing. It's in a very bad situation. To get out of it, politics has to play the role. How? Political leaders, whether you like them or not, they have a lot of power. They can change the policy. Policy comes in the picture here. They can change the policy so that recycling market, subsidized recycling market, can flourish in this time. If there is no subsidy in the recycling market, maybe a few years down the line, the recycling word will be only in dictionary, will not be practicing them. Do we need to help the recycling market? Do we need subsidy from government? Without any question. And that's where the politicians comes in the picture, and we need their help.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Sahadat Hossain. The question reads, what do you think about digging out old landfills and then use the plastics to generate fuel oil other than producing the plastic parts which you have shown? Okay. Which option is economically and environmentally viable?
Very good question. I wish I don't have to dig out plastic from there. Why? If we have the MRF, material recovery facility, we're taking out the plastic ahead of time, right? So we should operate the biocell or perpetual landfill in a way that we don't have to send the recycled material there. In case our recycle was there and we still end up having some plastic material, we can retrieve them, we can clean them. Can we make oil out of plastic? Yes. Is the technology there? Yes, there is cost-effective technology. Remember, cost becomes a big deal because if the oil market is already down, gasoline price is already down, that recycling product, whatever you are making out of recycle, that cannot compete with the market. So any country, whether it's Bangladesh, India, Africa, or America, if that business of plastic to oil or gasoline needs to survive, they need to have subsidy or help from the politicians. Can we reuse the plastic after digging out? Without any question. But I wish we operate in this mode that none of the recycled material goes inside the landfill in the first place.
Okay, so I know we're touching a lot of area. We're talking touching the technical area, touching a little bit of the political area. And now the next question is related to the economy. Okay, so talk about the market. What is the tune of economic activity or impact of all these waste?
This is an excellent question. We may go beyond our timeline, but hopefully I will answer it quickly. The people who understand garbage, there is money, everybody is getting into the garbage business. In Italy, garbage is mostly controlled by mafia. If you go to Colombia, entire country's garbage business is controlled by the mafia. And we all know mafia don't go to a place where there is no money. Okay. Now, if you want to generate money, look at this. The collection in developing country is less than 50%. If you give the private companies to collect them from different household level, there is millions of dollar collection fee there. And government doesn't have to spend the money. Whoever they are collecting the garbage from, they are getting paid from those households. So there is money in collection. If you bring them and then make some composting facility, you can give it to the private companies, entrepreneurs. 20-ton facility doesn't cost that much. Few $100,000 in Bangladesh, they can build a very cost-effective composting facility, and you sell the product. There is cost-benefit analysis of composting, and there is a company in Bangladesh, they're making a lot of money. AD, if we don't want to convert it into electricity, you can provide electricity or gas to the household. Why? They can use it for, cooking gas. The reason I'm focusing heavily on household level AD right now, in Africa, the cooking oil is very expensive, but we can generate cooking oil using AD. If we have this biocell itself is, creating a lot of energy. And end product is methane and carbon dioxide. Methane, we can convert into electricity. In city of Denton, the project that I was working with, they have only 500 ton a day. They are generating 5 megawatt of energy out of the landfill gas. So every component, and there is another issue here. If you look at this flowchart, most of the developing country has one thing. They have the system in place, top part. If they tweak their operation a little bit, they can get the output. They are only investing money. It's a liability for them. Can they make it an asset? Of course. If they make the processing, make the matter plastic, organics, biocell, and gas, energy, it's a profitable business. It's the most profitable business in the world if you do the operation right way. So does the economy make sense? Now, another component. In developing countries, we don't have to use, advanced automated waste sorting facility. If we have this sorting facility here in developing countries, labor is cheap and a lot of people are living around the landfill. We can employ them here. So they have a job here and you can create hundreds of jobs in this facility. So does the economy work? Absolutely. We have done a lot of cost benefit analysis. We have done life cycle cost analysis. We have life cycle environmental analysis. Everything, this is a profitable business. If there is an entrepreneur, if there is a young person who is watching, they should get into the business. There are business in every aspect of waste management.
Okay, so the next question may be our last question. Okay, the question is from Amila Abe Nayaka. Virgin plastic prices has reduced by 30% due to fuel demand reduction. Due to that, recycled plastic prices has reduced by 21%. How will this affect on recycling industry and circular economy? So, Sahadat, do you want me to reread?
No, I have that question. I got that question.
Okay, good.
So that if you look at this, cost of recycling product is more expensive than the virgin. Why? People are not driving car. So the gas price is down significantly. Till the time that we are not out of COVID, gasoline price will be down and the making of virgin plastic is going to be very, very cheap. Can the recycling market survive? This is based on the report by Reuters. They have accumulated data from 40 different countries and came up with the report. Recycling market, recycling businessmen are hurting more than anybody else in the world right now. Why? They don't have a market. They cannot compete with the virgin material. So again, who comes in the picture? Whether you like it or not, politicians and policymakers. If politician doesn't come here, if the policymakers doesn't come and subsidize this business, there is no future for this recycling business. I feel bad talking about it. Now, what is the side effect, direct side effect? I know, I'm in Texas. I don't want to give any city name. I know many cities. They are sending the recycling, they're collecting recycling separately, but what they're doing, are they processing? No, they're sending it to the landfill. Since 2018, when China banned the plastic material, recycling went down significantly, even in USA. So whoever asked me the question, I just feel for them. I hope whichever city or country he or she is from, they get help from the politicians and local people and the policymakers.
Okay, thank you. We do have a few other questions. So we are running out of time. We will definitely be answering those questions and posting them in Facebook. So I'd like to thank Dr. Hossain for this enlightening presentation on a topic so near and dear to so many of us, irrespective of where we live. Thank you, Dr. Sarif Udin, and other members of the organizing committee for making this event possible. To the attendees, I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this talk as I have. And please join us in future AITAA USA technical webinars. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Susil. How do I get out?
Congratulations, Dr. Udin, Sharif Udin. A very good organizational setup that you had this morning. I'm very happy for that, and I'm looking forward to the next seminar that you will have.
Thank you. No, thank you for attending. Thank you, everyone. I think the presentation was excellent presentation. Dr. Sahadat presented pretty well.